as I'm sure you're very aware, a lot of the listeners have been sending in emails, Cult of Cornette posts, tweets, everything about a topic before we get to modern wrestling reviews, whatever there is of that today. Word came out over the weekend that allegedly, and I'm not up to date on everything, I've seen some video just recently, but apparently Vince Russo, the word was that he was going to be the booker for the NWA, which seemed to be surprising news. And then a day or so later, it came out that that isn't the case. He is apparently, allegedly, who knows what's at work and what isn't anymore, the new booker and investor in the Insane Clown Posse's wrestling promotion. What do you know? What do you say?
Well, first of all, if I was Billy Corgan, I believe I'd sue Dave Meltzer for slander. Is that
where it came from? It came from Meltzer?
Apparently, because, and see, once again, this blows up to be a big story, but what is the old saying that the sum is greater than the whole of the parts or whatever the fuck? There's a lot of people here involved who have been doing shit that nobody knew was going on. And apparently the Insane Clown Posse have a wrestling promotion that does a television, does a TV show, but can it be a TV show if it's not on TV? But they do a show.
Do they? Is it a current show that already exists? I've never seen or heard about it. I know they have a promotion that runs like a show a year, I thought, but.
No, because the clip that is going around, that we'll get to in a minute, that's from their show. And apparently they've been doing a show somewhere that is seen somewhere. So that's number one thing. And then number two, nobody's been paying attention to our friend Vinny Roo anymore. And so he wants to drum up some publicity. And then Uncle Dave apparently got fed some kind of half-assed partial information and was assuming, and when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. He apparently blurted out on one of his shows, well, if it's like the NWA, well, nobody's watching the NWA anyway, which is true also. The NWA still does a show somewhere that airs somehow. But that combination of Uncle Dave saying that about shit stain and being, it was enough. There was some recognition at the NWA, because also then there's you put Russo and NWA together, and then there's the sacrilegiousness and the blasphemy of the worst, fornicator and sinner ever against the wrestling business, being elected to the Vatican and popedom of the last bastion of wrestling credibility, the NWA, in people's minds. And that was just something that got people going. But when everybody settled down, damn it, Vince Russo announced that he had worked the dirt sheet writers again and laughed about Uncle Dave saying that he'd gone back into the wrestling business with the NWA. When that's not it, he's back in the wrestling business with the Insane Clown Posse. This shit writes itself. And not only is he back in business with it, but he's saying in capital letters on Twitter, from one thing that I saw somebody tweeted, that he is an investor. Can you say it like he does? Investor.
How would he do it? Investor. I don't know how he would do it. I guess invest would be the two words.
Investor, that's where you put the pronunciation. But nevertheless, the drive over the E, he's an investor in the Insane Clown Posse's wrestle, which they used to actually call Champion Shit Wrestling. That was one of the names they used at one point when they get their friendly clowns together and have the gathering of the Juggalos. And he these champion shit wrestling has evolved into, what is it? Lunatic wrestling, or it's
Oh, what was the name of it?
insanity?
It was something in the background. It was like
illiteracy. Well, nevertheless. So now let's examine this. They've gotten some publicity because again, this stuff writes itself, and it's just the preposterousness of it. But then he goes a step further. Oh, Mr. Russo. And reveals that, bro, I've already written 9 hours of television. 9 hours of television. And right off the bat, bro, guess what we're going to do? Have you heard his 3 ideas for the revolutionary, groundbreaking new television show he's going to write that ain't on television?
No, I haven't. Other than the clip that went around of him coming out, I've not seen like ideas or anything. No.
Oh yes, well there's the clip going around. Is his friend? Remember Vito? We talked about him a while back when he called me and pestered me on my private number at home in Connecticut in 1996, trying to get booked. And he was the guy that, when we read the thing that Russo wrote in the Fan Bulletin in 92, he's trying to get him booked. This is 3 years later. And there's Vito in the ring throwing these fake fucking looking punches on some guy in this room in front of people who are kind of like, what the fuck? We don't get it. There's 200 of them or whatever. And out comes Russo looking like Father Christmas. What the fuck? Or Grizzly Adams, Dan Haggerty. Is that what he got from the Colorado experience? Is he looks like the Wolf Man? I don't mean Lon Chaney, I mean Jack.
Lon Chaney Jr.
Can you, but still, can you, is he going through a Wolfman Jack phase?
No, he had an audience.
Nevertheless,
Coast to coast, nationwide, he had an audience.
Russo comes out as it screams, "No, Vito, get off him. I told you we're not going to do it this way." And then it goes, that's the clip being circulated that how he revealed him. And when he walks out, the room is dead silent. And at first I thought that they just really don't care that he's back, right? And then I realized nobody even recognized who the fuck it was. And then somebody in the back of the room starts to try to get off after about 20 seconds. Holy shit, going. And that's how long it lasted. 3 holy shits. And it was dead quiet again. But the ideas, Bright, you have not heard the ideas. Okay. Number 1, he said, bro, right off the bat, we're going to be doing this in the first 9 hours of the TV. Somebody's going to get concussed. And then we're going to put them, in the concussion protocol.
What does that mean? I don't understand. Wait, in kayfabe, someone's going to get concussed and put in the concussion protocol. What the concussion protocol is like a test you take.
Yeah, well, not only the test you take, but the time. Apparently, they're going to. This brilliant idea is to. Somebody's going to get a working concussion, and then somebody's going to tell them they can't wrestle, and they got to have. We're going to see them have the brain scan, and we're going to see them do rehab or wait the time out or whatever, and talk to their doctor, which is a great 30 seconds or a minute update on a top star on a weekly basis, or a nice 3-4 minute package on, leading to someone's return. But this is not revolutionary, groundbreaking goddamn television, especially for the insane clown posse. He just described, okay, we're going to do a fucking vignette. But the second idea, I think, is better, Brian, because They're going to drug test
That's a good start.
on television. No, they're gonna. It's gonna be part of the deal. They're gonna drug test, and they're gonna have the guy that does the drug test stand there and watch the guys piss and say, because we want to make sure you ain't using any fake piss.
Let me stop you for a minute, because these ideas are not really traditional wrestling TV ideas. I'm a little confused by the whole thing. It's like WWE LFG meets a brick wall. I'm not sure exactly. Even if these ideas were great, and if I understood them, if you're a booker, why would you be announcing what you're going to do like this before anything has happened?
Well, because hold on, I will psychoanalyze him in a minute, but he wants this. This is what he's leading with. This is the shit he thinks will get people interested in seeing his vision of this product. He thinks that people want to tune in to watch guys standing there with their pants around their ankles with another guy watching them piss in a fucking bottle on a weekly basis.
Who's going to
Once again, what is this? Is it a weekly segment? And now let's go back to the pisser.
Let's find out what's happening this week with the Pecker Checker.
Yeah. How is that more? Once you've established that that's what you're doing, and even if you've seen it one time or you've just been alluded to, how does that take up any ongoing television time? And the only way you can bring it into the storylines is if people start flunking the fucking tests, and then, well, then how do you flunk a test and be in an angle at the same time? If you flunk the test, don't you have to go the fuck away?
And apparently the name of the show, and again, I've never heard of this, and I don't know where it airs. I've heard that they've done wrestling shows, but it's JCW Juggalo Championship Wrestling Lunacy. That's the name of the program. Lunacy. We've had everything in wrestling, now this.
Well, and the third idea, I think, has the most legs to it, because I can see this thing being a major part of anything that any 1 hour of television that Vince Russo would write. I would think this would probably dominate a half an hour of it on a weekly basis for months and months and months. And I'm sure there's just wonderful details to follow. But he said, bro, one of the female wrestlers is going to lose power, so she Me Too's somebody.
All right.
I can't wait to see how all that might turn out.
I was going to say,
from our friend,
for it to be classic Russo, like there has to be some kind of thing. I'm going to have two hot girls yell at each other and call each other sluts. But there hasn't been any of that yet.
Well, no, because I'm sure the Me Too girl is gonna change the whole face of the game. Rather, from instead of they're not gonna fight with each other, it'll be the men versus the women. And we all know what side that Vince has been on for quite some time now. Matter of fact, I understand his border crossing privileges have been revoked.
Oh, come on now. That may not be true, but the show that I'm looking
may not be false either. You don't know.
It's a very interesting look. When you come out on the little stage they have there, there's a DJ on the left, and on the right of the commentators, it appears to be a man in a suit. I don't know who it is. With a juggalo. So there's a clown on commentary. You thought Excalibur was bad, Jim. Excalibur
At least
so
they're only doing it figuratively over at AEW. They're literal over it. And let's talk about the investor portion. Because at first I smelled something with the first quote that I saw from Russo was that I have written 9 episodes of television. He didn't say anybody asked him to. He'd written them, so I was wondering, is he just trying to float here's some episodes of TV if anybody wants them? And that's when Uncle Dave was running with the idea that he's been hired by the NWA. He hasn't even been hired, wink, wink, by the clowns. He's apparently bought in. So on the surface of this thing, he's been wanting to write people's TVs for 20 years. He's been asking company after company to either bring him back or bring him in to write these masterpieces that he's got in his head. And finally, according to at least the story that they are presenting, the only one that would do it is the one he has to buy into. I bought part of the company. Can I write TV for you now? He's like the wrestling equivalent of the producer's girlfriend.
And buying it could be anything. It could be $500. It could be $5,000. I can't imagine it'll be much more than $5,000, but it could be anything.
I can't imagine it'd be much more than $500. But here's the thing: I've said many things about Vince Russo, and that's just to make sure there's no confusion. That's why I'm using his government name instead of his more familiar name of Shitstain here on this segment here, so we don't confuse any of the kids. I've said a lot of things about him, but I don't even believe that Vince Russo is stupid enough at this age, at this stage of his game, when he's been asking for jobs for years that haven't come, to put any sizable amount or really any amount of his own money into any wrestling promotion, much less run one run by the Insane Clown Posse. So I don't know where he would see that he was going to get a return on his goddamn investment, unless he's completely lost his mind and thinks he is the second coming of goddamn Toots Mondt. So I don't see why and we've established that Vinny Roo is even older than I am. Certainly the way he looks, I think he's a year older and he looks 10 years older. But he's not going to fucking put any goddamn money that he can't afford to just throw away into a fucking indie wrestling promotion. But this is some kind of deal that he's concocted in his head where he can get more attention because he's going to be some kind of goddamn authority figure or puppet master or pulling the strings in the background, or as when he comes out in the ring and grabs one of the wrestlers and says, "I told you we're not going to be doing it this way." So that he's going to be telling people what to do. And that's his kayfabe cover reason for being able to do that. He's got money in the company. It's a fucking work. It's bullshit.
Maybe I'm wrong, and I can't remember what it was that triggered it. Didn't Vince Russo announce at some point, like the last year and a half, that he was done with wrestling, that he quit the wrestling business? He's officially not interested in coming back. What was it? I can't remember what.
He gave a fucking deadline. I think it was the end of this year. It was like, I'm not going to watch you this stuff. I'm going to officially be done. But no, again, I don't know what they may be paying him, the clowns, because the Insane Clown Posse apparently does have money at its disposal. Because whatever the fuck it is that those people do, they've been doing it for quite some time, and there are a lot of strange people that fucking enjoy it. We established that long ago. That's why they decided to dabble in wrestling, and being marks, they do bad outlaw indie garbage deathmatch wrestling and other assorted bullshit. And many of the legends that I used to know, or actually still do know, I haven't forgotten about them, but of my generation were like, oh yeah, they'll pay you and they'll do this and they'll do that, but you're wrestling in a goddamn mud field in front of the fucking grandchildren of the Woodstock generation. But nevertheless, they got money. So he may have sold them on some Who Shot John fucking bullshit. Well, I'll come in and I'll be the authority figure and I'll write the TV. And because you people, meaning the clowns, have such a goddamn unsavory reputation and people think I'm a goddamn just giant, massive turd, then it'll get attention and we'll all get attention. And that's, apparently what they're doing. And everybody's giving it attention because it's so preposterous.
No, I'm sure they're going to get a big media rights deal. By the way, the footage I see here, there's like saran wrap, not saran wrap, but there's like plastic wrap around part. Do they do like a Gallagher thing where they like spray the audience or something?
No, I think they were covering something up that was in the camera shot of the upper walls, whether it be windows of a rec center or are they in a video game arcade and they're trying to cover lights, but they've kind of made like a tent over the top of this area they're shooting this television show in.
This is a new Gallagher documentary. I really want to see it, but it's not available anywhere yet. It's still like in select theaters. But he was a lunatic. I'm dying to see that documentary.
I have seen Gallagher.
Live? You saw him?
Yes, and I was far enough back that I didn't get sprayed.
When was this?
I can't remember now.
Where was this?
God, it was in Las Vegas. But the question is, what year of time?
For the LPWA? It has to be LPWA if you had time.
Well, I'm thinking because I was out there a couple times in the late 90s.
With time to spare?
I just remember seeing Gallagher. Or was it Charlotte?
Or was it Gallagher 2? You sure it was Gallagher 1 or the original?
No, there was only, I'm old enough, there was only one Gallagher.
Okay.
Maybe it was Charlotte. I just remember now. I've remembered that I saw Gallagher in person.
Yeah, fascinating because he like completely went off the rails and became like a nut. But like he gave his brother his gimmick so that he could have two Gallaghers touring at the same time because he was so afraid of Carrot Top. And then, like, he went to war and sued his brother that he couldn't call himself Gallagher anymore. I'm dying to
Well, their first names were Doc and Mike.
No, it was not. No, those are the famous wrestling Gallagher brothers, of course.
Well, I just had that for you.
Well, Jim, we'll see what happens with Vince Russo and the Insane Clown Posse. Of course, we wish them well. We can't wait to see where this will be broadcast and how long it lasts. But when it comes to making a pick and saying, I think this is a winner or I think this is a loser, not everyone has that skill. Not everyone has that talent. But for those who want to test their talent and skill with their picks, we have some friends that have some prizes for these picks. Oh, you hear that, Jim? Prize picks.
Yeah. Part of that was almost a coherent sentence, and then you just went and started playing the xylophone. Folks, I'll tell you what, there's all kinds of ball things going on right now, ball games. Brian, I'm telling you, I'm just so excited about all the balls that are being played with. I'm telling you, it's like somebody has written it down in red and then highlighted it in yellow, all the ball that's being played now, and you can be a part of it because if you get your picks right at Prize Picks, then you could cash in. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. And if you get the picks right, you could cash in. Let's say that you want to pick, just for instance, Vince Russo more or less is going to fuck up his umpteenth wrestling promotion in under 3 months or over 3 months, something like that. But more with the basketball, the football, and the baseball. And you can stack them up. You can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup, which to me is like wink, wink. Ha! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat, but it's legal here. And you can follow other people directly on the Prize Picks app, and you know where they are at all times. It's like they've got a homing device in their pocket as soon as you lock onto them. So if you want to follow somebody, you just make sure they're involved in Prize Picks, and you'll know where they are because it says right here, Brian, you can follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app.
Well, I don't think that means tracking. I think that means what they put on the app is information that you will have access to. There won't be any tracking. Prize Picks is there to leave you alone, but be there when you need them.
Well, how can they leave you alone? And how can they leave you alone and be there if you need them? They need to be somewhere around close in case you need them quick. But you can copy these other people's lineups in one click, and then boom, it's yours. And it's registered with the government. They can't take it back away from you. Whether it's a friend or a celebrity partner. Somebody's got a celebrity partner out there. Who?
Oh, hello.
Or just someone whose picks you like. It could be somebody at random walking down the street and suddenly it's Prize Picks, follow them. And boom, it's like they got an ankle monitor on. And how you play on Prize Picks is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. Well, hell, then it's horseshoes, hand grenades, and Flex Play. And if you want the biggest payouts, Brian, go for the Power Play. That's where they're going to play you with extra power. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. And also, if somebody gets hurt, I think you don't have to. Normally, if one of these players gets hurt that you've picked, you've got to pay part of their doctor bills. But understand they indemnify you on Prize Picks. You don't have to play unless they're on a respirator. Then you've got to pay 6% of their medical bills.
Jim, there's the truth serum. We only want to talk about what the people can do and what they can do right now with Prize Picks, and there's a wonderful promo code that will do something for you right now.
Right now, download the Prize Picks app and use the code JCE. You're going to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code JCE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup, because at Prize Picks, it's good to be right.